Broadcasting live to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and so much more. This is Go Live with Restream from your host, Ian Anderson Gray, the show that helps you expand your audience and reach through the power of multi-streaming video.
Hello, it's Ian Anderson Gray here. Welcome to the Go Live with Restream show. This is the show that helps you expand your audience and reach through the power of multi-streaming video. Now, in today's show, I was going to be interviewing my good friend Kim Garst, but unfortunately, we've had some technical problems with Kim's internet. These things happen with with live video. So unfortunately, we've had to postpone that. But don't worry, Kim will be back. I'll definitely be bringing it back in a few weeks' time. So just to let you know about that. But in today's show, I'm going to be talking about how you can plan your live shows. And this is so important because with live video, things can happen. You know, sometimes disasters happen. Sometimes your guest can't make it. And so you need to plan. You need to have a backup plan. And I'm also going to be talking about content and that type of thing in today's show. As always, do please get involved with the comment. That's one of the most powerful things about live shows is the community side of things. So don't be shy. Do say hello. Tell me where in the world you're watching from. Of course, if you're watching the replay as well, just put hashtag replay. As always, I am broadcasting to a plethora of different places on the interwebs. That's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Periscope, DLive, and so much more. So I really appreciate you joining me. It's great to see. I can see some comments coming in, which is awesome. Thank you so much for that. So as I said, do let me know where in the world you are watching from. I'm just south of Manchester in the UK, but we are a global community here at Restream. And also just to let you know, in fact, let me just get this going in the comments. I'm using Restream Studio for this. So I can just add comments on the screen, and I can add banners and things like that. I can add a logo. And as you've seen, I can add videos. So this is the Go Live with Restream show, and I'm using Restream Studio. If you want to find out more about Restream, all you need to do is go to iag.me/Restream. And if you want to be notified for future shows, basically we go live. I've got a banner for this. Every Tuesday, 4 p.m. in the UK. That's 5 p.m. in most of Europe, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And if you want to be notified next time we go live, all you need to do is go to confident.live/Restream. Right. Let's see who we've got here. Oh, Anita Wong is here. How are you doing, Anita? Great to see you here. Rick Sachs is watching from the beautiful Toronto. I was supposed to be in Toronto this summer, but unfortunately that didn't happen. We've got MWEEV watching from Germany. Where in Germany are you? And Joseph is watching from Singapore. I told you we were global. This is awesome. Hope you're doing really well. And who have we got here? Flight Sim Today, Cheshire. Well, that is very close to me. I live in Cheadle, which is very near Cheshire. We've got Rosie Chaos Music watching from Southampton in the UK, which is great. Yes, you are definitely close. And Anita is in London. And Dave Brown watching from California, 8 a.m. I'm very impressed that you were up so early, up and on. Arturo is watching from Mexico. Great to see you. And Martin Buckland is here watching from Toronto. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Really, really awesome. Well, before I get on with the main topic of the show, and if you've just joined me and you're expecting to see Kim Garst here, I'm really sorry to disappoint you, but it's going to be a great show anyway. Yeah, Kim's been having some technical problems, so we will be bringing her in a future show, hopefully in a few weeks' time. So I'm really excited about that. Kim is a great friend of mine. She's a wonderful person and just knows so much about the world of live video, repurposing, promotion, sales, you name it. So I will be getting her back on the show, but sorry about that. You've got me talking about how to plan your show. So do keep the comments coming. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. I'm just going to share my screen now. and I'm going to just tell you a little bit more about Restream. Restream is what we're using to power this. I'm using Restream Studio. It's basically the complete multi-streaming suite for entrepreneurs. With Restream, you can stream to multiple platforms. This is either called multi-streaming, multicasting, or multicasting, whatever you want to call it. It's the ability to broadcast to more than one platform at the same time. And they have a plethora of destinations, including LinkedIn Live. If the LinkedIn gods have blessed you with access, it's still in beta or beta, but hopefully that will be running out to you soon. Also, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, Periscope, and so much more. In fact, there are over 30 different destinations that you can broadcast to, which is awesome. Now, what I'm using today is Restream Studio. If you want to find out a little bit more about Restream Studio, check out the last couple of episodes, because I actually go through that. And it wasn't last week because I had Luria Petrucci on the show, but the week before that, I went through how you can basically do that, how you can multi-stream. But the browser's great. The Restream Studio is great because you can run it from your browser, and you can have up to 10 people on the screen at the same time. Multi-streaming, you can add comments on the screen. So you'll see all of that in this show. It's really, really easy to use. This allows you to multiply your views to all those different channels, even channels that you might not think you have a presence on. It's really interesting sometimes to broadcast to channels that you wouldn't normally think of, because it's a way of growing your audience across all these different places. As well as that, one of my favorite features, which I've already been showcasing, is the ability to engage in chat. So you can actually see all your commenters, all your viewers, and you can engage with them really, really easily, which I absolutely love. And loads of other features like the scheduler, where you can stream your pre-recorded videos live, and measuring your success with the analytics part of it. So definitely check that out. And one thing that I didn't talk about last week, so let me just see if I can just do this. So one thing that I really like, and I've been using this recently, is something called reply commands. So let me know in the comments if you've used reply commands. But this is a bit more of an advanced feature with Restream, but I really, really love it. So I'm just going to share my screen again. I'm going to go to Chrome tab and go to Restream chat. Hopefully you can see this. So what you can do here is you can set up ahead of time some short keys or short commands to allow you to add comments really quickly and easily. So you can see here, if I do !1, I can, it will automatically type, "Thanks for watching the Go Live with Restream show." So I've got 1 to 6, and I've added an extra one there just because Kim Garst can't make it today. So that's really good. I really, really love that. If I go back now, so if I just type in !1 now, you should be able to see these comments. So you can then see, "Thanks for watching the Go Live with Restream show." And if I do !3, it will then, "Don't be shy, let me know where in the world you're watching from." So that is really cool. So let me just look through some of the comments here. Okay. So, Mahmood is here. Great to see you. Live from Tier 2 in Leicester. Yeah. Yes, in the UK, we've been moved into lots of different tiers because of COVID. I'm in Tier 2. It basically depends on how many cases there are in your area. So Tier 2 isn't as bad as Tier 3. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Svein is watching from Bergen, which is, have I got this right? My geography is really bad. I'm going to say Norway. Have I got that right? I think it is Norway. Rick says, what am I not seeing Watcher's announcement? So I'm not entirely sure what you mean there. Do you mean comments? So I don't know what you mean there, Rick. Maybe explain what you mean by that. And Anita says, probably some of the comments are on other channels. Thank you, Anita. You understand exactly here. So yes, this is a really good point. When you're multi-streaming, so I'm broadcasting to the Restream YouTube channel, the Restream Facebook channel, my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel, my Twitch. I won't go on, but a lot of different channels. Now, I can see all of your comments in my stream here, which is great. But you're not going to be able to see, if somebody, for example, leaves a comment on my Facebook, and you're watching on Restream, the Restream YouTube channel, you're not going to be able to see that. So yeah. Rick says, can Restream amalgamate all chats? No. So it can for me as the host. So it's I don't think it would make sense to broadcast everyone else's comments to all the different channels. I think that would look weird. Although it might be possible to do so, I don't know. And Rick says, yeah, on YouTube. Yes, they do that for the user, but not for the viewer. Yeah, thank you, Anita. What would I do without you? Not sharing the screen. Did that not share? I thought it did. Oh, well, never mind. You didn't share the screen. Oh, did it not work? Let me try again. Let me try. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to go to Chrome tab. Let's see if this actually works this time. So do that. Do you know what? I think you're right. Apologies, everybody. Let's try that again, shall we? It helps. It helps if you actually share your screen there. So there you go. So you can see this is the reply commands. !1 gives thanks for watching the Go Live with Restream show. !2. So basically, if you do ! and then the number, it will then paste that in as the comment. So that's what I was meaning before. Apologies, everyone. It helps if you actually click share the screen there. So I hope that makes sense. Liam says, yeah, no, this is not something I played around with, actually, Liam. So thank you for this. I wasn't going to go into this, but yes, you can amalgamate for viewers using the Restream bot. So not something I played around with, and it might be something that I'm gonna check out. So maybe for next week, actually, Liam, I will play around with that and see how we get on. I'm going to check that out with the Restream team. So Rick says, wow, yeah, I'm going to check this out. James also said, we've been playing with the studio. It's a great product. Totally agree. It's a fairly new product. So Restream have launched that this year, but I've been so impressed with all the features that they're adding. So loads of features, like you can add overlays, videos, comments, captions. Oh my goodness, it is great. Flight Sim today says you can all comments showing up in a stream with OBS. So maybe explain what you mean by that. You can certainly you can use widgets to highlight on the screen and do all that kind of stuff. Also works with tools like Ecamm Live as well. And DJ Quick Music says, yes, the boys work. You need to go to menu the chat Restream. Great, fabulous, awesome. Well, let's get on with talking about which is today how to plan your live shows. And why this is important. I think it's really important to do this because sometimes things go wrong, and I think if you just let things to chance, I think you could find there are problems. And also you might find that you press that go live button and your brain goes completely to mush, which is not what you want. It's really important to give value to your audience. And so what I've done today is I have planned my show. I did have Kim on, I was going to have Kim on the show, but when I knew that Kim wasn't, I had a backup plan. And so I think it's really important to have a backup plan, but also to have a run of show, to have a document that you can rely upon. Now, you can have this, for example, here I've got a sheet of paper. Here's my run of show. I don't know whether you can see that okay. So I've got all the information on there. But I've also got, now this is a bit more advanced, but I've also got a webcam, not a webcam, a teleprompter in front of my camera. So I put all my notes on this. So it means I can look directly through the camera and see my notes as well at the same time. So I think that is maybe more of an advanced thing, but certainly have notes either on paper or on another screen somewhere. I think that's really, really important as well. So definitely have a run of show. Now, so the first thing I want to talk about is planning your content around themes. A lot of people struggle when it comes to doing a live show. If you're a gamer and you're going to basically do a live stream of a game, that is relatively straightforward. You need to set it up, obviously, and then you basically do that. But it's still a good idea to plan around themes. So maybe one week you're going to talk about a particular game, And week 2, you're going to talk about another game, or maybe different aspects of the game. If you're more into marketing your business, then you want to demonstrate maybe your expertise or different products, that kind of thing. So you can pick 3 main themes. Now, in my other show, I have 3 themes for my Confident Live show. I talk about helping people with confidence in front of the camera. So that's the mindset. That's theme number 1. Theme number 2 is confidence with the tech and gear. And theme number 3 is confident with the content and marketing. On this show, there's really, that's very similar. We talk about the content and marketing, the gear, and sometimes we talk about the content and marketing. So it's very, very similar. I think having 3 themes makes it a lot easier for you to come up with really engaging content that you can share with your audience. And you're just making it different each week. So, question for you guys watching. For your show, what are your 3 main themes? Or if you can't think of 3, what's your main theme going to be? I'd love to know. Let's get some ideas going in the comments, and I'd really be really interested to know. So I think that's the first thing, is building content around themes so that you can create content that's going to be really, really engaging for your audience. So that's the first thing, planning around your themes. So the next one is planning around your guests' expertise and content. Now, this will only be a thing if you are doing a guest show. Restream Studio is amazing for guests because, as I said, you can have up to 9 guests on your show. Probably start with 1, just keep it simple. But you can invite guests onto your show, and obviously you can plan the content around the expertise of that guest. So when I've had in the past on the show, I've had Mike Russell from Music Radio Creative. That was an awesome show. Definitely check that out in the archives on the Restream channel. And with that, his expertise, Mike's expertise, is audio, sounding great on audio. And so that week was all about, that show was all about about audio. And so that was planning around audio. So that's really important. So what I do is I have a spreadsheet. I use Google Sheets, and each week I'll put for each episode I'll put the theme, and I will also put my guest and what they're talking about, and I plan the content around their expertise, because obviously, you know, you can plan it around your expertise if it's a solo show, but I think it's really important to pick guests that are going to fit in with your theme, and that you build it around their expertise. So that's my second one, creating content around your guests' expertise and content. Right, let's see if we've got any comments on this. So Dave Brown says, your on-screen comments kind of get lost visually because they're overlaid on top of your mic and your mic flag. Will Restream Studio let you change the colors of on-screen comments? Yes. So apologies about that. I need to take this off, actually, and I need to get a Restream one. So yes, you can change the colors. Let me just see if I can do that. So my primary color is red, but let's say we want to make it a green. Let's see if I can find a green. That's a great comment. Okay, so there you go. That's now green, Dave. I hope maybe that's a bit better. I don't know. And Rick says, what kind of teleprompters? So there are lots of different types of teleprompters. You can go with, the one I went with is an iPad teleprompter. So if you do a search on Amazon or equivalent stores and look for an iPad teleprompter, I've got that. And I've done that because I've got a DSLR camera. It's actually a mirrorless camera. So I've got a Canon M50. But this camera this teleprompter that I've got will work with both cameras like the M50, but also cameras like webcams, like from just typical ones that you might have. So I definitely check that out, but it's not something you need. I've only got this relatively recently, and I've done really well without that. So I hope that helps. And yeah, Clement says, hi from Mexico. Rick says, does Restream do green screen like OBS? So that's a great question. you can use, first of all, you can use OBS Studio with Restream. So what you would do so Restream has got lots of different parts to it. There's Restream Studio, but you've got the traditional way of using Restream, which is you broadcast from OBS or whatever tool you're using, and you broadcast to Restream, and then Restream will then take care of all that multicasting, which is great, which is really, really awesome. And of course, you can use that green screen in OBS Studio. Now, in Studio, currently there is not, unless I'm wrong, I don't think there is a green screen capabilities, but I know the team are working really, really hard on new features, and I wouldn't be surprised if green screen is coming soon. So definitely check that out. Tim Sawn is here. Great to see you, Tim, watching from the land of bears and the turkeys. I love your comments. So nobody has let me know what their plan for their themes are. I think you're all feeling a bit shy. I would love to know what theme you have for your live shows. Okay, right, what's next? So I talked about themes, plan around content around your three main themes. We've gone green now. I hope that's better. I'll change it next time. And creating content around your guests' expertise and content. So the next one is creating content around type. Last week, I definitely, if you didn't check out last week's show, last week's episode, I had Luria Petrucci from Live Streaming Pros on. It was an awesome episode, and it was all about live video strategy. And so we did cover some of these things in last week's episode. So definitely check that out. But there's another way of thinking about this, the different types of live video content that you can create. And this is an acronym that my good friend Sam Ashdown came up with. She's a marketer here in the UK. And it's BLAST, or BLAST, depending on how you pronounce it. So these are different types of live shows that you can create. So you've got your themes, but the other thing that you can think about are different types of live show. So the B for BLAST stands for behind the scenes content. So for me, a behind the scenes live show could be me setting up my studio or showing little bits about my studio. And actually, in a way, I've been showing some behind the scenes content today. I've been showing you behind the scenes in how I set up this show. So behind the scenes is stuff that's really, really interesting. And I'd love you to tell me, which one of these, the B, the L, the A, the S, or the T, you find the most interesting. So B is for behind the scenes content. The L is something that I don't see many people doing, and that's local content. And at the moment, in the midst of this global pandemic, I think we need local even more than ever. So it's still great to be able to multi-stream to reach a global audience. But how about highlighting what's going on in your local area? Because you know what, people are interested in what's happening. People like to see different places in the world. So highlighting what's happening in your area, but you could also, the flip side of that is highlighting a business owner or somebody within your area and thinking about the local. We always think about global, but sometimes focusing a little bit more on the local is a really good thing to do. So that is the local. That's the local of BLAST. Okay, the A is a day in the life. Kind of similar to behind the scenes, but this is, well, what's a typical day like for you? What have you been working on today? Is there something new that you've been working on? Do you get up really early in the morning? So this was interesting. Last week, Luria shared with me that she gets up, 5 o'clock in the morning, very early, and she goes for a walk and she does all these things. I, on the other hand, probably get up around 7 o'clock, or sometimes I get up at 6. And so it's actually really interesting to know a little bit more about your guest, a little bit more about you, and to share that, and also to ask your audience about that. So that's a question I'm going to ask you. When do you get up in the morning? I'll be really interested in that. So that is a day in the life. Okay, the next one, the S of BLAST, is sneak peek. And I'm going to have to press this button. I don't know whether this is going to come through. Can you hear this? Let me know if you can hear that sound effect. I should have tested it before. Sneak peek is a sneak peek into what you are working at. This is a new thing that it might be a new course that you're working at. Maybe it's a new game that you're doing. It's a YouTube video that you're going to be putting out next week, and you're putting it all together. People love to find out a little bit about exclusive content that you're working on. And your live videos you can grow a community of people around your content, and you can show them exclusive content that makes them feel really special. So sneak peek is something I really, really love to do. And that brings me on to the final one in Blast, which is tips and advice. And that's what this show is mainly about. On the show, I'm sharing, or my guest is sharing, something new, something that you want to know about. This is tips and advice. This is pillar content, evergreen content that's going to stay for a long time. And the reason I love this is because this is a great way to create evergreen content. Yes, live is live, but it is also evergreen as well. So you want to make sure that this content lasts not just for the live part, but for not forever necessarily, but for a lot longer. You can build a community around your shows. You can get more of the replay audience watching, and of course, you can then repurpose that into lots of different types of content, whether it's a podcast or a blog post or that kind of thing. So let me know what you think about Blast. I am a big believer in that. I think it really works really, really well. Okay, let's see if we got any comments here. We've got Jose what's saying hi. Oh, we've got Rob Balasabas is here. I need to get back to you because I had a nice surprise the other day from you, all the way from Canada, I think. Anita say hi, Rob. So Randy says, okay, so this is good. I usually get up. This makes me feel better. Thank you, Randy. I usually get up around 7 to 8 a.m. whenever my cat has determined I'm ready. I love that. Yeah. Well, we know who's boss around your house. So, yeah, and that makes me feel better because I sometimes worry that I'm never going to be a successful entrepreneur because I don't get up at 4:30 in the morning. So there we go. Anyone else want to share when they get up in the morning? Make me feel better. I'm sure there are a few early risers. If Tim Sorn is still here, I think you probably get up really, really early. Rick says, Ian, can you do a quick one-liner review of Blast, what Blast stands for? Really hard to do a one-liner, but Blast is behind the scenes, local, a day in the life, sneak peek, and tips and advice. It's really about the different formats of your live shows that you can create. It could be, for example, you're out and about and you're being mobile, you're going for a walk, or it could be something like this where I'm in front of my computer, in front of my camera and my lights, where it's more tips and advice. So that's what Blast stands for: behind the scenes, local content, a day in the life, sneak peek, and tips and advice. And I hope you found that interesting. So keep the comments coming and let me know where in the world you're watching from if you just joined. And actually, just to let you know, if you just joined today, we're talking about how to plan your live shows. The reason that is so important is that you want to create content that is valuable to your audience. You also don't want to waffle and go off at tangents too much, because then it is very, very boring and annoying, particularly for your replay audience. So that's important. Great. Okay, so just a few extra comments before I get on to the next one. Anita says, I do not get up that early, 7 a.m., and I go back to bed with a cup of coffee. Do you know what, you guys? You're making me feel so much better. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Anyone work from their bedroom? I try not to, but I did a bit earlier today. I was editing my podcast and I went into my bed and snuggled up and did a bit of editing. That was fun. I wouldn't probably do a live show from my bed, but hey, why not? Why not? You know, I mean, let's face it, so many of us are working from home at the moment. Okay, great. Big comment here from Gary. So I'll read it all out because it's quite a long comment. My content is piano covers. I think you mentioned this last week, Gary, on Facebook. So that's at Gary Piano Covers. My session content is a particular artist for the evening. I do show and explain the gear I use. I explain how my stream is different from others creating my arrangements on the fly, and I get up at 7 a.m. Good. I think 7 a.m. is the time to go. So that is awesome. Yeah. So yeah, let me know a little bit more about what it is you're doing. And you talk about you explain the gear you use. But that sounds awesome. Rick says thanks. It's my pleasure. We are here to serve you. Gary is okay. Oh no, this okay. I'm gonna say to Gary. Gary's watching from Oregon. Welcome. It's great to have you on the show. Right. Okay. Martin Buckland. Are we ready for this? Okay. Okay, here we go. 3 a.m. I am up at 3 a.m. to cater for my global clients. Well, that's fair enough. You know, we live in a global world. We've got to be there for our clients around the world. But 3 a.m., that is early. I have to admit, I did do a live webinar at midnight because I'm in the UK and I was catering for people on the Pacific coast. But 3 a.m., my goodness. Okay, Mahmoud, it says themes. Are these themes the sort of things you mean or too broad? For me, business resilience, growing your business and money mindset. That's great. I love those themes. Those are not too broad. Because the thing is, you want them to be, you don't want them to be too broad, but you don't want them to be too specific either, because obviously within those themes, you want to have lots of room for different types of content. So for example, today's theme is really to do with content and marketing, planning. But content and marketing, I could talk about social media, could talk about promotion, repurposing. There's lots of things that fit into that. So for you, there are lots of things that you can fit into the theme of business resilience. There are lots of things you can talk about within the growing your business, and lots of things that you can put into money mindset. And I love those. I'd be totally interested in those things. So I think that really, really helps. So that is awesome. I'm getting all fuzzy. Go on, camera, you got to focus on me. It's this mic flag. And just before I highlight that comment, just to let you know, we've talked about this before, different types of microphones. So at the moment, I'm using this Heil PR40 with a mic flag. And the reason I use this is because it really gives me the best audio for me, I think, because I plug it into, I've got lots of other gear going on that will really help my voice, but mainly because I turn my main podcast, my main show into a podcast. So I want to get the best quality. But for this type of show, what I'm going to be working on next is getting a different type of mic for this type of show, because I'm not turning this into a podcast. And so I won't have to have this on camera. I quite like it. Let me know what you think. Do you like this with the mic flag and everything? Do you find that distracting? I think it's great for my main show, but for shows like this, I'm going to be experimenting with different microphones, and I'll share that on the show. Would love to know what you think about that. Okay, so Randy says, I tried for a while to get up at 5 a.m. and I just can't. I go to bed with good intentions. Then I hit snooze. Also, when I'm sick, I work from bed usually. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing is, the people who get up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and Martin, you let me know about this. Most people who get up really early, they go to bed really early. So they go to bed at 8:30 or 9 p.m. at the very, very latest. Because we've got young kids, well, I say that, but they're now like 10, 11, 12. My goodness, what's going on? I can't go to bed too early. So there we go. We've got some more stuff coming when it comes to planning content, but I just want to get through, look at some more comments here, because you guys are awesome today. I wonder whether we're going to hit the 100 comments in a stream. Let's do it, because I want to highlight that comment at the end. It's a great way that we can that Restream gamify the stream thing. Anissa says, haha, in bed with Restream. Maybe that's a new show. In bed with Restream. Might have some other connotations that I don't know. Gary says, I end up sometimes working from bed. So DJ Quick Music says iPhone. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yeah, let me know. Kevin Holmes, yup. And Gary says, I like the mic flag. I want to get one. So if you're interested to know more about that, I will put this in the comments actually, so you can see. We talked about this relatively recently, but I've got a gear guide. It is, let me just put it up here. In fact, have I got it here? Yes, I do. Is this going to work? Gear guide is iag.me/gear guide. I go through the tools I use, like Restream. I use the microphones, the mic flag, and things like that. You don't need any of this stuff. Keep it simple to begin with, but if you're interested in the gear that I use, I need to add the teleprompter to that, actually. The teleprompter's not on there, but I will be adding that soon. So that's iag.me/gear guide. Great. Okay, so Rick says, I'm building Twitch viewers and Facebook, but any tips on building YouTube viewership? So I'm going to get an expert on the show to talk about YouTube in the future. That's a really, really good question. But my experience with YouTube is I think it's good to have a real mix between live content and evergreen content. So ideally, I would do 1 or 2 pre-recorded videos every week and at least 1 live video, and make sure that you're continuing to create content that works for the algorithm and that people are searching for. So look out there for you in your niche and in your area for other content that's working well, and then just create content that is better or is just a different way. It's your take on that. So I would say just do some pre-recorded videos, but in terms of live and live viewership, it's really a case of promotion. So make sure that you're promoting it. You can now schedule your YouTube live videos in Restream. Definitely do that. And then share that if you've got an email list, do that. Share it out on Twitter. If you've got a guest on your show, get them to share it out as well. You can get them to share it out on all the socials as well. That's just a few things from the top of my head. I have talked about promotion in an earlier show. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, check that Go Live with Restream show where I talked about that. And I will be bringing in some YouTube experts in the future. I would love to know, Rick, how are you getting on with Twitch and Facebook? Are you happy with that? Particularly Twitch. I'd be really interested to know how that's going. That would be really awesome. Okay, we need to get on with the next thing. So just to recap, planning content around themes. And a few people have already mentioned the themes that they are thinking on. Let me know what you think, what your themes could be. The next one is creating content around guests, expertise, and content. The next one was content around type. So this is the type of live show. BLAST is the acronym. That's behind the scenes, local content, a day in the life, sneak peek, and tips and advice. That is from a good friend of mine, Sam Ashdown. It's her baby. Just a big shout out to her. Okay, so we're now on to, this is one of my favorites, and I'd love to know what you think about this. And this is creating content around products. So we're not quite into we're still in 2020, but 2021 is coming around the corner pretty quickly. And so you need to start to think about planning what's going to be happening next year. Do you have any products or services or any launches that are going to be happening next year? If so, you need to plan that out. When are you going to launch that? Are you going to launch a new course in February in 2021? Are you going to be launching a new product in March next year? Once you have that all set up in your calendar, you can then start to create live content and other types of content around those products. Now, a good friend of mine who I'm hopefully going to get on the show at some point is Janet Murray. She has a whole diary or calendar that it helps you plan in advance. She calls it the media diary. And so you should definitely check that out. I will see if I can give a link to that later on. She talks about this a lot, and she nicked this idea from a mutual friend of ours called Dan Knowlton. So you can see this on the screen. This is creating content around 3 different types of content. And those different types of content are awareness content, consideration content, and purchase content. Awareness content, consideration content, and purchase content. So what on earth are those? So awareness content is content that's helping out your ideal customer. So in a way, this today is awareness content. You know, this is letting you all know Restream is a great tool, but I'm also creating content that I hope is going to help you plan your shows. So this is awareness content. The next one is consideration content. This is helping people in the process of buying your products and services. So this is a bit more tricky, but this is, for example, if I've got a course coming out, consideration content could be aimed at, well, it should be aimed at people who already know that I have this course coming out, but they need to understand more about why they should or shouldn't buy my product. You know, my course might not be the right fit for everyone. And so this type of content is going to help people watching whether to make the decision whether it's right for them or not. So if it comes, for example, with Restream, I go through all the features in Restream so you can make a decision on how awesome it is and sign up. Or it could be, you know, lots of different things that you're creating. So Mahmoud was talking about his content. What was it earlier? So let's just find your themes. I'll be interested to know what you think this would be for you. But you might have a course coming up, and so you've talked about it, but you're just basically demonstrating why you think it would be a good fit for your audience. So that is consideration content. And then finally, there's purchase content. This is aimed at people who are at the point of working out whether they want to spend the money or not. So this could be, for example, I've got the course coming out next week, and I'm just telling people basically what they're getting for their money. So I'm going through all those features. And so that is purchase content. I'd be really interested to know what you think about that, because I think that's really good. So planning your next year. Have any of you planned your 2021 when it comes to your business? I would love to know. So we've got a comment here. This is from Ron. As video music DJ, can I use your services to live stream music videos using Facebook as one of my platforms and not worry about copyright unfair laws? Okay, so I have to preface this and say I'm not a lawyer. Facebook, in my experience, isn't the greatest when it comes to copyrighted material. If you play music, like YouTube, Facebook is able to detect whether it is copyrighted. Now, this is nothing to do with Restream. Restream Studio basically will just stream your content. It doesn't, in effect, know what the content is that you're streaming. But when you broadcast it to Facebook or YouTube, those platforms do know what you are playing. It will listen to the audio. And if it detects that you're playing copyrighted music, what it will do is it will notify the copyright holder of that music. And in the case of Facebook, what can sometimes happen is that the copyright holder will ask Facebook automatically to ban your video, so no one will be able to see it. And this has happened. This happened to me a couple of weeks ago when I was helping. It wasn't a client, but it was helping our local church. And I had bought the music using a service called Audio Blocks, Story Blocks, but for some reason there was a mistake, and Facebook incorrectly detected I was playing copyrighted music, and the video was banned. So Facebook is a little bit heavy-handed sometimes, in my experience. YouTube is much better. They have a really robust system called Content ID, and what will tend to happen if you're playing copyrighted music, it will then a number of things will happen. If, for example, it may take down your video. That's usually rare. Or it will add ads, so you can't monetize your video. Or it will just replace that music with silence on the replay. But basically, when it comes to playing copyrighted music, unless you have the license for that, you can't really get away with it. There is a different one though, a different network, and that is Mixcloud. You can check out Mixcloud at mixcloud.com, and that allows you to stream music legally because they have a license. So check that out. Sorry, I got to be more helpful, Ron, but that is just the way it is. Gary says, I use Twitch too, but I'm finding it tough to gain viewership. I need a more entertaining show when I compare others on Twitch. Be careful that you don't enter into the comparison syndrome, because I think it's really important, Gary, to be yourself. You might need to put a bit more energy into it. There might be some fun things that you can do and just to get your personality out. But try just to be careful that you don't compare yourself to others in a way that's going to be detrimental to you. Just a quick comment there. Many others have fancy overlays, lots of comment engagement. I visited other Twitch shows and supported their page, getting more likes and mentions, just not a lot of engagement on Twitch. Finally, the bandwidth to hopefully figure this out. So, yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say to you, Gary, is I don't know what it is that your show's about, but is Twitch the best platform for you? Twitch has a particular type of viewership base. It might be that you can grow it, and I'm not trying to put you off there, but just be kind to yourself on that one. And when it comes to fancy overlays, yes, you can add fancy overlays. You can do that in Restream Studio. You can do it in other tools as well. But I think it's not always about the overlays. Today I haven't got a fancy overlay. I've got the logo over there. There we go. I've decided not to have any fancy overlays today because actually it's more about the content. We'll talk about backgrounds next time. I'm going to be working at my background. We are moving house at some point. But at the moment, I've just got a hue light at the back so I can change the color. In fact, let me just do that now so that you can see. But sometimes working on your background can be quite good. So the thing I like about hue lights is that I can change the color behind me. So let me just get onto this first of all. So I don't know whether you can see this. This is the Hue app. Now you probably see its little kind of purple color behind, but I can make it red. I can make it like a greeny color. The problem is my wall is quite green, which I don't really like. So I'm going to make it more of a purple color. So you could do things like that, just to make your background a little bit more interesting. I would focus on that, but if you want to play around with some of the overlays in Restream Studio, you can do that. So yeah, I haven't really got that many overlays in at the moment, but definitely check those out. Great. Okay. Rick says for Restream you have to pay for Facebook. For Twitch, you should follow Twitch shows that share your interests. That's a great thing to say there about Twitch. Restream have different paid plans. So if you are broadcasting to your personal Facebook profile, it's important to get the terminology right here. Then you can use just the free plan on Restream. But if you're going to use it for your business, if you're going to broadcast to your Facebook page, yes, you do need to have a paid plan for that. And it's well worth looking into the paid plans because they do give you quite a few extra features as well. So, and there's a number of different paid plans in Restream. But that's a great point, Rick. Thank you for that. Gary plays his digital piano. So I think that it could work on Twitch. Twitch is not just for gamers. A lot of people think it's just for gamers. It's not. Yes, check that. Check out if there are other musical shows that would be a good fit for you. And that was a great tip from Rick. So follow Twitch shows that share your interests, and maybe see if you can actually bring in some guests who have their Twitch show as well, and you can do some co-promotion. Is that the right word? You can promote their show, and you can do it that way anyway. So that's really cool. I think it's awesome that you are using your musical skills. My background is music. My wife's teaches at the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester. She's a composer and a French horn player. I sing. So definitely do that. And in Restream Studio, just a tip, if you are going to be doing any music, In advanced settings, you'll want to switch off echo cancellation and noise suppression, particularly noise suppression. Restream Studio is great at optimizing for speech and making it really easy. If you don't even have to wear headphones, and it will get rid of that echo. But if you're going to be doing music, you'll want to switch those off, because otherwise the music can come through garbled. So just check that off. That would be good. Rick says, I added Facebook and gained a lot of viewers, a lot of Facebook friends. So yeah, it depends whether it's your profile or your page. At the moment, Facebook pages are really hard to get the engagement. It's more of a pay-to-play platform these days, but there are lots and lots of ways you can utilize to promote your live shows. And I talked about this on an earlier live show. So Alexander is watching on Facebook, who says hi, and Rick also says Twitch is exploding with music. I agree. It's a great platform. You might also want to check out Mixcloud. It's not a free platform, but that is very, very based on music. So, and Restream works with that. Okay, I'm losing my voice here. So I think we're almost there. Just a few extra things. The final thing is really to create content around your audience. And so you've been great, guys, today watching this live show. Rick, I've really loved your comments. Gary, Ron, we've had so many people here giving some great comments. Anita earlier, and Martin. So thank you so much for your comments. And this is great because I can now start to build content around you. So you have given me tips for the future, getting on somebody to talk about YouTube, getting people on who are professional gamers to talk about that when it comes to Restream. So creating content around your audience. Listen to your audience. Don't just create content that you think is great. You might think you know what your audience wants to hear, but listen to them. Create content around your audience. I think this is something that a lot of people I see don't really focus on. I think there's a danger for all of us slipping into creating content about the things that we enjoy and the things that we want to talk about. But I hate to break this to you guys, but it's not, if you are a host of a live show, it's not about you. It's about your audience. This show is not about me. It's not even about Restream. It's about you, amazing people watching this live stream. Without you watching, this would not be a live show. And that's what makes it exciting. And that's what makes it so powerful. So your comments are fantastic, and I really thank you for those. So creating content around that and just really, really focus on that over time. So just to go through all of those things again, just to recap, all about planning your live shows. The first thing was planning content around themes. Just pick 3 main themes. Creating content around your guest expertise and content. Creating content around type. That's BLAST. That's BLAST, which stands for behind the scenes, local, a day in the life, sneak peek, and tips and advice. One of my favorite things, if you plan in advance, is creating content around your products and services. So this is awareness content. And this is from Dan Knowlton, a friend of mine. Consideration content, purchase content. And then finally is creating content around your audience. When you do your live show, make sure you have a run of show. This is just a plan of all the things that you're going to talk about. The first thing that you're going to say, because quite often when you go live, your brain can go to mush and you forget that. Tell people, get that hook in right at the start of what you're going to be talking about on that show. That'll be really, really good. Fabulous. Well, I think that is the end of today's show. Just a few extra comments. Rick says, I always have to go and turn off autofocus on one camera. Yes, I do that, and then it forgets that I've done that. So I need to do that. A good reminder. It is in my checklist. I just didn't do that today. Anita says, I just found YouTube has its own emojis. That's great content to share. At the moment, they're not coming through in the comments, but I think the guys at Restream will be fixing that so that I can actually see those emojis, because who doesn't like emojis? In fact, if you don't like emojis, let me know, because I'm sure there must be some people. That's really awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Just a reminder that this show, the Go Live with Restream show, happens every Tuesday, 4 p.m. in the UK, 5 p.m. in Europe, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And you can, if you want to know more about this, if you want to be notified for next time, all you need to do is go to confident.live/restream. That's confident.live/restream. In fact, let me just put that in the comments. I'm going to use my reply command now. Hope you're impressed. It is !4. Is that going to work? It is. There you go. confident.live/restream. And if you want to sign up for a free Restream account, or if you want to have a little play around with it, all you need to do is go to iag.me/restream. iag.me/restream. Rick is saying, ha ha ha. I don't know what you're laughing at. I'm sure it's very funny. Awesome. Great. Well, that is the end of the show. Thank you so much. Also, do check out the other Restream shows. There's one pretty much every single day this week. And so do check that out either at the Restream channel on Facebook or on YouTube. Definitely check that out. Awesome. Well, I think that's it. Are there any other comments? Rick says thank you. Anita says thanks. Thank you so much for spending that time with me. I really do appreciate it. And if you've got any ideas for this show, let me know. We make this show for you. And I really, really appreciate you guys for spending this time with me. Fabulous. Right. Well, until next time, I encourage you to expand your audience and reach through the power of multi-streaming video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Go Live with Restream from Ian Anderson Gray, the show from Restream that helps you expand your audience and reach through the power of multi-streaming video. Visit iag.me/Restream for more. And until next time, toodaloo.